Welcome to 24/7 Flat Earth Discord channel. Be sure to go to VC Check and 1 to get your VC verification tags to get involved in the conversation about our Earth. Be sure to bring your verifiable Earth curvature evidence, though.
Enemy spotted.
CRAZYCASON, Dart Vector, and Swagy. It starts in the convo as the bot was playing up again.
Hey, the server. This is the question.
That's all we're here to do, man, is say, hey, man, your claim is that the Earth is 24,901 miles in circumference. It's like, wow, man. Okay.
And you guys have a rebuttal to the claim.
Yeah, no one's ever measured it.
Nobody's ever actually measured that little bitch. That's the problem.
How would you measure it in the first place?
Well, that's our question, not yours.
Oh, I just asked.
How would you measure it? That's exactly right. How would you measure it?
All right, thank you, Chris.
Do you
Chris
take
fixed
a
the live stream? No, he
tape,
didn't.
tape measure and go all the way around? How do you know you went around straight, and not off
That's right.
center?
Well, they're the ones that have given us dimensions. So their claim is they've measured it. So how would you measure that?
If you go to Walmart, they have a sale starting on Sunday. They have a tape measure that's 25 million miles long, and I think if you buy it in bulk, you get a better price. So I think it costs like $3,000. So for $3,000 and a little bit of time, you can measure the circumference of 25,000 miles, man.
Right, but anybody that claims to have measured the Earth, they'll tell you how they did it, no?
Well, yep. Yeah, that's why we're
They
here.
don't pleasure to have measured it. They measured some shadows, came up with a mass equation.
Right, but
assumed that the Earth was a ball.
They would have, the proposal that I had is if they claimed to measure the Earth, whether they measured it by shadows or whatever, they would tell you how they quote unquote did it. Whether or not it's a legitimate measurement is then the question.
Yeah,
it's not legitimate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice calculation.
I'll be off work in 10 minutes. I'll jump in then.
All right. So
I think
nobody's measured the Earth's circumference. That's the bottom line, man. Much less the radius. So it's been a while, man. We've been asking for this stuff, and it keeps. Nobody's ever said, "Hey, man, I can do it right here. Here we go. We're going to measure it." That's it.
If you wanted to prove your fairy tale satanic globe, all you have to do is go to the east rim of the Grand Canyon, look across 70 miles. At 6 feet observation height, 70 miles, there should be 2,993 feet of curvature from where you're standing. And when you look out, it's perfectly flat. And then when you go to the south rim is 6,800 feet high. The north rim is 8,200 feet high. The north rim has a nice little forest of green trees up there. At 6 feet observation height, there should be 216 feet worth of the north rim falling away from you, and you shouldn't be able to see the green trees up there that are 1,400 feet higher than you are, but you can. Nothing is falling away. Nothing is bending away. Nowhere on this God's creation of a stationary plane is anything bending away at 8 inches per mile squared drop over distance, period. Nobody can show it. And it's the most stupid thing ever. And for those of us who believed it the majority of our life, me, 98%, 97% of my life, I can't believe I believed it. But I did because they got me at age 5. Cool story, bro.
Cool fantasy, bro. It's cool fantasy.
But is that a real story?
Absolutely, that's the real story. Absolutely, I've been in the Grand Canyon. I've been in the Grand Canyon a number of times, and I didn't think about it at the time because the Grand Canyon is really cool, man. And I was told I lived on a spinning space ball, and I looked across there. It was beautiful. Then I went to the south rim with my wife. Looked across the north rim. It was beautiful. We even went halfway down, third of the way down into the Grand Canyon. It was beautiful, man. But you know what? looking back, nothing was curving away from me. Nothing.
Yeah, that's one of the big problems we have here with the globe is that they put the chips on the table and said, "Hey, man, this is the radius, this circumference. There you go."
Question.
And we just said, "Hey, man, whoa, okay. If you
Is-
have that as your math, as your evidence for this globe, man, can we check it out, man?"
Right,
Now,
but I don't know, I just thought of this, right? Like your
yeah.
eyes aren't flat.
No, your eyes are convex, right?
So I mean, like, could it be that your eyes, the way that your eyes are rounded, they're rounded in just the same way, but opposite of. I mean, like, it's ridiculous, right? But I don't know enough about how eyes work.
That's how you would reverse engineer it if you
The
use
eyes, like, say we actually, yeah, we eyeball everything as flat. Is there a reason? Because our eyes are curved.
But we go to the ocean, man. This shit's flat, man. I'm a sailor. Been out there.
Right, but that's how we see it.
There, man. It's flat.
How does it?
Flat. 360 around me. It's flat, man.
How does it actually work? Like, what comes into your eyes?
There's no curve, man.
The light that comes into your eyes, right? Like,
sure, man. Yep.
We see it as flat. I feel like everything I see is perceived as two-dimensional.
We walk outside the door and every morning and go, do I feel like I'm shooting around the Milky Way at 500,000 miles an hour or 1,000,000 miles an hour? No, you don't feel any. There's no.
Right, but I can look at a curve
of shooting around the Milky Way at millions of miles an hour, man. There's not. No, we don't do that.
I can look at a curved soccer ball, and I mean, I guess it's only the reflections that make it look round, but really all I see is the circle, which is visible to directly in front of my eyes. Like, I can't see behind the ball.
Somebody mongoed. So we see a ball, man. Well, guess what, man? We can pick up the ball, soccer ball, baseball, whatever, and we can check it out, man. It's round. It's got a bunch of sides to it.
Yeah, I guess you can feel it. I guess once you put it in your hand, it's physically, you can see it's a ball. But the Earth, you couldn't put it in your hand.
Nah.
Well,
You've never seen the Earth from outer space as a ball. I mean, with your own two eyes. I mean, nobody has.
Flat Earth professor dude has big hands. He can put the whole world in his hand. Flat Earth dude can put the whole world in his hands. He puts the whole world in his hands.
Maybe.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, my favorite satellite story is about the Samsung selfie satellite. Have you guys ever heard of the Samsung selfie satellite?
I heard about it.
You guys heard about it?
You could pay a couple $100 and get a picture, couldn't you?
You know what? You could pay a couple $100 and you can have your picture taken from space.
Oh my goodness!
I am not kidding. Check it out, man. Google
I heard
it.
about that.
Fucking search it up, man. I don't give a fuck. Search it up. Selfie satellite, man. Turned out, man, that the Samsung selfie satellite was not attached in outer space. It was attached to a big giant balloon. And it crashed back down to Earth, man. And it was the most piece of shit looking thing I've ever seen, man. I mean, it was shitty. But yeah, you can just check it out. That's my favorite satellite story. So don't believe me. Check it out.
So yeah. So just a general question. What's like I mean, I think there's a theme to this chat, right?
I don't know if there's a theme, man. The theme is we're here 24/7, 365 days a year to talk about Earth, whether it's flat or round or square or whatever you want to come up with, man.
Actually, there's two themes. One is we see too far to live on a ball. So obviously that's real simple to know we live on a stationary plane, flat Earth. And the second theme is the other side's nuts.
All right, is that the theme though?
No, that's just my theme. I'm sorry.
So I'm just wondering, like, there's always like to any discussion, any chat, there's always a theme, right? I mean, it can be dynamic. I think that we saw that, but like generally speaking, it comes back to the theme, right?
I mean, we are dedicated in here to opening this platform to new people that are just looking into where they live.
What do you think the theme is?
I mean, the
Well, I
bottom
just
line
took the
is,
name of the server. That's the
the
theme.
name of the server is
24/7
Earth.
Flat Earth. Hmm.
That's it.
Discord.
24/7.
No, Discovery. 24. Yeah.
It's Discord, man. It's 24/7 Flat Earth Discord.
Oh, see, I could only see disco.
It's Discord.
I guess
Yeah,
I
that's what
mean
we do.
disco ... is what I see. I would put it in
So
the
we're
chat.
in here to talk about Earth, whatever shape you think it is, 24/7.
I kind of like the disco theme though. Oh, I can't post
There's no
pictures.
disco theme, man.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what it
we
says.
talk
It says
about flat Earth, and then we
24/7
play
Flat Earth
disco
disco.
music.
And then there's 3 dots.
I got a disco ball in my car while I'm talking.
How do I get the pictures? I gotta talk to a mod. Oh, man.
Oh shit! 24/7 Flat Earth Disco, man.
That would be funny.
Somebody kick a beat. Fuck's sake, man! Somebody, come on, help me out.
What are you gonna post?
I'm just. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Platter did it.
Somebody kick a beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess the question was why is it that you guys come here, right? Is it to
well, it's an interesting
host?
conversation. So when we have people who believe that they live on a spinning space ball in the vacuum of outer space, we have a discussion with them. But when there's none of those guys in here, we have discussions about other topics as well. So it's
Everything
good
from
place to be.
auto mechanics to construction to water purification. You name it, man. We'll talk about a variety of things, not just. But if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, man, I know it's a globe, and I can prove it," we're like, "The floor is yours, my friend. Go ahead."
Yeah,
I mean, for me, I had to come in like 3 different, maybe 4 different times to get off the flat Earth topic in the first place.
Yeah,
well, that's it, man. You never know how it's going to go, depending on what time of the day, man. But yeah, you want to talk about growing food, or growing weed.
Yeah.
There's a couple of professionals around here that do that.
Yeah, I come in for the pizza.
Pizza's good. But the fact is this is a flat Earth server, man. Period.
Yeah.
And
So do you know how they claim to have gotten the Earth's radius? Crazy.
I assume it's got something to do with those shadows that were mentioned earlier.
Oh,
have you got Google handy?
I'm still on the psychoanalysis. I'm like 2 paragraphs deep.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah. Don't worry about that. Google. How do they know the Earth is a sphere of 24,000 miles in circumference?
How do they know the Earth is round?
Well, it's not round; it's a sphere. Round is is also synonymous with flat because it's a shape, a 2D shape.
Right. Yeah, it could just be a circle.
Things, man. 2 different things completely.
Yeah, I googled how do they know the Earth is a sphere, and the first thing that I'm DuckDuckGoing. First thing that came up is how do we know the Earth is round?
Yeah. See, even they can't get their shapes right.
Sphere.
Is this Arizona State University?
How do we know the Earth
what does
is
that
round?
say?
From
Submitted by Danielle, who's a senior in high school.
There you go.
Answer
Right.
that's the question. So she's asking the right questions.
Yeah. What's the answer there?
Some Patrick McGurran, like other planets, the Earth is a sphere. The answer is correct, right? That part, at least with respect to
Was
sphere
that his
around.
answer? The Earth
No,
is a sphere.
that's the first sentence. It rotates around its own axis slowly, but continuously. Completes a rotation about once every 24 hours.
What
As
does
it
that tell you about a
rotates,
sphere? How does that
Some big
how does
claims.
that prove a sphere?
well, I mean, a circle could also rotate once every 24 hours.
Well, it just like what's rotation got to do with the shape of a sphere?
Oh, this is the first paragraph. He's
All
got
right, cool. What else has he
like
got?
6 paragraphs in here, maybe 7. Number of reasons. We can test many of these ourselves too.
Like?
If the Earth was flat, we would be able to look out and see very far.
No, we're not
assuming
asking
no
about
buildings.
flat. We're just asking about how they know the Earth is a sphere.
No,
That's
I'm
called
just
it's called a straw man. I know you're just reading the article, but I'm just commentating. I'm just commenting while you're reading it.
We could see another city that's hundreds of miles away.
We can. It's amazing.
Or a ship sailing out to sea.
Oh, a geometric horizon.
No matter how far we see, we would still see this ship out at sea.
That's not true either, even on a flat
but
surface.
they're trying to explain it to a 12th grader, right?
Yeah, but 12th graders aren't kids. They're young adults, like they should be. That if this person who's a 12th grader obviously has done a science class, I'm sure they can understand what the scientific method is and a simple explanation of how they know the Earth is a sphere. Because so far all I've got is a lot of begging the question.
You've probably seen that when the sun is out, it causes a shadow to form. This is the next point. They got a couple of bullet points in here. There's 3 of them. So, it turns out we can use shadows as another piece of evidence that the Earth is round.
Well, how do they do that?
If the Earth were flat, then shadows would be the same length regardless of location. This means the sun is hitting all places on Earth at the same angle.
That the sun is 93 million miles away.
Right. I mean, I think it would mean the sun is stationary, right?
No, because what they're saying is parallel light rays. They're saying because the sun is so far away, all light rays come in parallel. So they're saying the sun is 93 million miles away. So they cannot give you an answer without using any fallacies or begging the question. So all of these answers are because the Earth is a sphere, it does this. They're not actually giving you a reason or the proof that the Earth is a sphere, are they?
Well, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I also haven't seen it that the Earth is flat per se from this article, right? I don't think they're trying to argue in that way.
No, I don't think they're arguing. I just think they're,
here's the
treating
last
the
one,
person
right?
who's asking the question like a simpleton. But
Here's the last one. During a lunar eclipse, the Earth passes between the moon and the sun.
What about a Salinellian eclipse, where they're both in the sky at the same time?
When that happens, the sun's projects Earth's shadow onto the moon.
So
when that happens, you can actually see the Earth's shadow if you look up at the moon. If you do this, you'll see there is a round shadow, not a flat one. So I don't think that answers the question to a sphere.
Yeah, instead of curved. Yeah, I think they mean a curved shadow because you can't have a round shadow because a round would be a circle. So you can't project the Earth's size onto something that's smaller. But so any of those answers, Did you get anything definite that the Earth is a sphere from that?
No, but they end the article this way, right?
Yeah.
A follow-up question might be whether the Earth could be flat and round like a pancake.
Straw man.
Oh no, this is what I was
yeah.
getting at earlier. I think this is what you were getting at. This would cause the shadow on the moon to be round, but the shape of maybe not.
No, that's silly. That's yeah.
You would have an ellipse, right? Oh, here it goes. If the Earth were flat but rotating, its shape would be different for ellipses at different times of the day or night.
Yeah, so they're begging the question that we think the Earth is a disk in space. Yeah.
No, I'm just wondering if it's not a sphere, then maybe the next assumption would be that it's a disk in space, right? And the assumption after that would be that it's just what you'd say a square or some sort of infinite flat space.
The problem
convex,
is that
concave.
none of us have ever said that we live on a disk in space. So this is what they do. They just turn it out to make it look ridiculous. They couldn't prove to you that
Right,
the
but
Earth
they
is a
don't.
sphere without strawmanning the flat Earth. They strawmanned it, first of all, saying that if it was flat, you could see forever. That's incorrect because of angular resolution. And then they strawmanned that we think we're a disk in space. So it's two strawmans and not one proof of a sphere in that article. It didn't answer anything, did it?
Right, but I don't think they claim to 100%. At the end of the article, they say these are just a few testable ways we know the Earth is round. Not that it's
so how
flat.
do they know? My question again is, how do they know that the Earth is a sphere?
Well, if it's not round, then it's a circle, right? If it's not a sphere as well. It's either a sphere or a circle of some sort, whether it's convex or concave.
Whoa,
Why does
man.
it have to be a circle?
Could be square. Could be a square.
Well, how could if you have a square Earth, how could you have these round projections on the moon? That's what I'm wondering.
Round projections on the moon?
Oh,
So you
shit.
mean like a
Hey,
curved line?
Hey,
So can you
crazy.
get
Are you in the live stream voice text right above the live stream?
I don't think so. I had it open like an hour ago.
All right. There's a little video of a flat shadow on them. Anyway.
Oh, you're on Discord or on YouTube?
1013. It's right here on
Discord.
The Discord.
A flat shadow.
Yeah, a flat shadow
on a curved surface.
On a curved surface.
Okay.
It creates a curve, doesn't it? So that they can throw that one
13 minutes after the hour, yeah.
They're saying only a curved line can create a curved shadow, but that's not true.
No, so that's not what I meant either.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, it's exactly what you meant.
What I meant is if you had something that
during a lunar eclipse, we would only see the roundness of Earth shadowing the moon. Really?
No,
that's what the article said.
That's what the article said.
If I'm looking at the skiff, right, it's that there's never like a unlit part on the sphere, right? So I was saying if you had a piece of paper that was small enough.
Wait, which GIF are you looking at?
The flat GPT one.
Yeah, but which one?
The orange.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the orange.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but imagine that you never had a shadow outside of that orange.
Just imagine it.
Would it still be the case that it could be round? That's what I don't know.
If you didn't have a shadow outside of the orange? What do you mean?
Yeah. Right. I mean, they never go but halfway through the paper, right?
Yeah, but there's not a.
You can test this shit yourself, dude. Don't trust us. Test
You've got a line on the moon directly in the middle. It's not, the line's not curved, it's straight. Yeah, correct?
Yeah, but that's also not what I meant. I meant if you have light all the way around the shadow. And on all edges of the shadow there's light.
Where's the light coming from?
Well, and what's it called? They said a lunar eclipse. The sun's got to be behind the Earth, and the moon in front of it.
Correct. Yep.
So the
Right.
light would be coming from the sun.
Light would be coming from the sun, so the Earth is in the way of the sun hitting the moon. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you trying to say?
I don't know if it's ever the case that you have the phenomena I was talking about in the first place, where you have light all the way around as well. The moon. So if you looked at the moon, if there was like a ring of light on all edges
You're
of the
talking
shadow.
about a solar. You're talking about a solar eclipse.
That's solar. That's a different eclipse.
Yeah. You're thinking the moon goes in front of the sun, yeah? That's solar eclipse.
Yeah, okay.
The lunar
Yeah.
eclipse is when the Earth gets in the way and creates a shadow on the moon. Is the mainstream.
Yeah, so
narrative.
what I was
Yeah.
talking about is completely on the other side of things.
Yeah. So
It happens,
again,
man.
anything
That's
in
why
that
it's
article
question
that
to know, man.
proves that Earth's a globe, or should we look more into it?
Yeah, no, I mean it just goes back to the fact that I don't really know anything. I don't even know a lunar from a solar eclipse.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's what we're doing here. Yeah. So let's go to the shadows then. They spoke about the shadows. Yeah. But they said if the Earth was flat, all shadows would be the same.
Yeah, but these guys,
Length.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do I have any reason to believe these guys? There's got to be better guys to answer this question.
Yeah. But what this goes to is when we talk about shadows, there's a claim. There's another claim that a guy 2,000 years ago, 2,500 years ago, measured some shadows with some sticks in a well. I don't know. They keep changing the story. So what he did was he assumed that the sun was an infinite distance away, so that you get parallel light rays, right? So they all come in parallel. Have you ever seen parallel light rays?
Is that possible? I guess if you had like a flat LED green.
Yeah, but we're talking about the sun, like just in nature. Have you ever seen the sun come through the clouds and it
Yeah, but you could
diverges?
have is it impossible to have a naturally occurring flat luminescent surface? I don't know if that's the right word
Sorry?
either. If luminescent is right, but a flat
No, because
surface which produces light.
what I'm getting into is this is the claim that how they got the radius of the Earth. This is I'm going to go through it with you and explain how they did it. Yeah. So the guy assumed that he lived on a ball. Then he assumed that the sun was an infinite distance away. And then apparently he measured some shadows on the was it the solstice or the
solstice or
measured
equinox.
another shadow somehow. Measured the two shadows because he assumed he lived on a ball and that parallel light rays come in parallel. He did a maths equation and said that the Earth is this big. Now, do you think that is a good enough way to measure the Earth's radius or circumference?
I mean, I think the
Like
real
they still
question
go.
is if there's a better way.
Dude, they've been soaking this way for 2,500 years, man. This is how it was done for 2,500 years.
This is still how they claim
It's still how
it's
they
done.
claim it. today.
But like the idea of science is that you just do whatever is
Science.
best,
No.
right?
Science is a method. It's not a
science.
thing, man. Sorry.
Right, but you
Method
just
of
do
cause and
whatever is
effect. So
best and repeatable.
Exactly.
So I think the shadows are
Dude, I did
repeatable.
the test. I don't know. I know a mathematician in here. Him and I did the test together twice. We did it on the equinox and the
and
solstice.
he's a glober.
He's a
Yeah, I
glober.
mean, I'm a
And
mathematician, but I don't fucking do these tests.
him and I measured some shadows, and we came up with some calculations, and we came up with a calculation that the sun was 3,400 miles away. That's it. That's what we came up with our equations. Dude, it was a shadow on the equinox, on the solstice, and we took those measurements and we calculated them into an assumption, and it came out the Earth and the sun are 3,400 miles apart. Okay, man. Wow. With a math professor. So if anybody can do better than that, man, let me know. Because him and I did it together, and we came up with the distance to the sun at 3,400 miles. Or 40. Hey, it's close.
I mean, is that like how? I'm just wondering, like, if I were somehow writing something that leveraged these measurements, some program, or some sort of
Well,
software,
all
right?
you're doing is measuring shadows, because you
Right,
don't
but
know
if
the distance to the sun.
no, but like say like the distance to the sun was somehow a static variable in a
An
program I
assumption.
wrote. Yeah, say it's something that I
Yeah,
assume to be fixed. If I were to write the program and it were a predictive model, right? I would optimize that distance such that the model is the best possible predictor.
What's a predictive model?
Oh,
So
yeah.
some sort of equation is the best way to state it. A set of variables that
Of what though?
Numbers.
numbers given certain
Numbers.
inputs
Lots of
will
numbers.
Yeah, but of what? What are you doing with this model? Like, what
oh
is
it's
it?
just a hypothetical. You could do different things. I don't know what exactly the application is where you would care about the distance from the Earth to the Sun or the diameter of the Earth or anything like this. Maybe something to do with satellites or
Well,
something to do
Oh,
with.
boy. We're
well,
getting off.
we only care because they're making a claim, which is and it's an unverified claim.
Right,
That's the
but
only reason we care.
I'm just saying, say I were to build one of these devices or one of these models that somehow needs to know that information.
Yep.
And I build it a whole bunch of times, and every time I build it, I change the calculation. That's the independent variable, I guess. Right?
What about you? Yep.
I guess that's the experimental variable, right? Everything else is controlled for.
Dependent. Yep.
Everything else is controlled for, right? So I just let.
Well, how is everything else controlled when we live in a dynamic system and they claim gravity and
I'm just
an
assume it is, right?
spheroid? That we don't actually live on a sphere; we live on an oblate spheroid as well. So, how do you
Right,
calculate
but
that into it? Because wouldn't the gravity be
regardless,
bigger at the equator because the mass of the Earth is bigger? So, would you be heavier at the equator? But then you
right?
should be
So
lighter. But then you should
you
be
could
lighter because you're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. So does that
say
counteract gravity? And like,
say the
you got too
dynamic.
many variables.
Yeah, but
Do you know if they've got a scientific model?
maybe the
Do they
dynamic
have a
system,
scientific model?
right? Just assume the dynamic system has a finite number of states.
That's impossible.
I'm just assume, right? For discussion purposes.
I'm not really in the I'm not really in the realm of assuming.
Right, but
That's how we got in this mess in the first place.
if it were the case that you had a finite number of states, or that here's even better. Say you have an infinite number of states, but they're bounded within a range.
Well, that's how they did it. They assumed the sun was an infinite distance away, so there you go. Another
Right, but
assumption.
I'm just saying you have an infinite number of states, but you can say they're within a certain range, right? Each variable is bounded. Like, it's not possible that the sun is 1 billion miles away, right? It's got to be, I don't know, 1 million to 100 million. I don't know the factors, right? But for instance,
It's got to be.
So
Well,
if you can bound every state, then you can discretize your, although infinite, bounded states. And if you test your model across these states,
model of what though?
is it any model that utilizes the
No, but can we
variable?
talk about a strict model? Like, can we have an example of what model you're talking about? Like,
I
what
don't
would you
really
do?
see. I don't really know enough about them. But say
Because it's a
I have a
very vague
model that needs,
conversation.
right, the model that somehow needs one of these factors, whether it's the distance from the Earth to the Sun, or say it's something like this, the distance from the Earth to the Sun. Okay, and somehow this model leverages that distance to optimize a process it performs, or it uses that distance, right, to optimize a process it
A lot of
performs.
words going on with no conclusions, though, isn't there?
Right, but I'm getting there. I mean, you could say it's something like, I don't know, solar energy harvesting, right? Somehow this matters the distance from the sun. If you were to vary the distance and test the energy harvester,
Well, you'd need to know
for example,
You'd need to know the output of the sun to know how far away it was. Yeah, wouldn't you?
well, you could test it across all possible states, right?
Well, test it. All you do is you find out how you measure. What are you calling them? Solar what? You said solar harvesting, but what are we measuring? What are we picking up? What are we picking up from the sun? The radiation from the sun, or
Yeah, I guess you can add some sort of heat. Doesn't have to be exactly
okay.
light.
So if you get that, because the only place you can read it is on the Earth. Yep, on the Earth, wherever we live. So then how do you reverse engineer this to work out the distance of the sun? I don't understand how you do that
Well, it would have to
without
be
the output and the distance.
somehow maybe the models that I have doesn't actually, the distance to the sun doesn't actually matter, right? It has to matter in the model.
Yeah, what would matter? Like why? Because the only reason we have the distance to the sun is because they assumed the radius of the Earth, and then assumed that Venus was the same size. And then when Venus did a transit of the sun, they came up with the equation that the sun was 93 million miles away. Yeah. So it's pretty bad. You got two assumptions. You got the Earth, size of the Earth, which was assumed, and then you got the assumption that Venus is the same size as Earth and is a planet floating in the outer space. So, when you start with an assumption, what are you going to end up with? You're going to
Well,
end up with
so
a really
you
wrong
gotta have
answer, aren't you?
one thing that is the assumption only, I guess,
Okay.
in the end. Or,
And then how do we confirm our answers when we have the one thing that we're starting with is an assumption?
well, you test that assumption across.
How do you test it?
Well, you set up many experiments I guess the assumption is just
So
a
that's why I wanted
hypothesis,
to
right?
know
You don't
what we were
really assume it. You hypothesize it, right? And then you
Okay,
test
so
it.
that's why I wanted to know what we were looking for, because now we're kind of off into just a vague conversation about assumptions and like what are we actually looking for? Like, and then I think we can talk more clearly about it.
Well, for me, it's like you got to first understand the method, right? You set up a whole bunch of tests.
Yeah, but what's the
With
conclusion we're looking for? What's the hypothesis?
at
Right,
the
let's do that.
end of
What
all
is
the
our
tests,
hypothesis in this conversation?
at the end of all the tests, you should have one variable that you say is the best
Yeah, but what is the
assumed.
hypothesis we're talking about? What is it?
Well, it could be anything.
Yeah, but if we're going to have a conversation about it, let's pick one.
Just say you have a pencil. And you have a whole bunch of them, right? So you have a whole bunch of pencils with different
Yep.
wear and tear on them, and you want to
Physical
say
pencils.
that, right? Yeah, and you control that the tip is as sharp as usual, and
Okay.
right,
So
it's
you
a
know what the
certain.
difference? You know what the difference is with this, and and then we get into the sun and outer space. Do you know what the difference is with testing these things?
Well, I'm just getting at the very base
Yeah.
kind
The
of
thing is that we can
mechanism.
actually test and do things to these pencils because they're here. The problem with the stuff in claimed outer space is we can't test or go to any of these places to actually confirm that what we're doing is correct. Yeah? See the difference?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like there's got to be other
You
things where
think
we
that,
can't actually
yeah,
do it, but we've updated our model, and then as a result, predictions of that model have become more accurate.
what's the updated model?
Well, you change a few static variables.
You need a model to start with, though, to update it.
I mean, like think about a machine learning model, right? Like say I have a model that reads a whole bunch of text, and the output of the model is to say whether this text was positive or negative. And you have a paragraph that you read.
Yeah, but that's a physical paragraph, isn't it? That you can check and make sure the machine is correct. Yeah.
You can't control the paragraphs that are generated. I mean, I guess you could if you really want to, but if you're just only taking data that is published by other human beings, not yourself, then you personally can't control that.
I don't know where that's going, that one. Sorry, man.
I mean, it's in the end, it's an uncontrolled model that you observe and your observation, right?
Can you relate this uncontrolled model to a model of the Earth or the model of the solar system that we live in?
Well, this is what I'm getting at. Is that in the end, the value that you're measuring, whether a paragraph or a sentence is positive or negative, is 100% up for interpretation, and you'll get a different answer from different individuals.
Of course.
It's non-deterministic.
Yeah, but if you want to relate that to the ball, like to the Earth or the solar system that they claim they have a model for, then how do you test these things?
Well, you can actually measure it, right? That's what we were getting at. So the same point is valid that you can't
measure
actually. What? Say you measure
can't.
The distance from the sun, but can you actually measure how positive or negative a sentence is?
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, it's the same phenomena. You start with a system you can't
You're
measure.
saying that my perception of whether a sentence is positive or negative is the same as not being able to measure the distance to the sun?
Well, it's the same as your perception of how far you believe the distance of the sun is.
I don't
From
make
here.
a claim. I don't really care how far away it is. They care how far away it is because the sun has to be at that distance for their model that doesn't work to kind of work.
I guess it's the same because, like, I don't really care if a sentence or a paragraph is positive or negative, but in the end, whoever is using that information cares.
You're trying very hard not to talk about Earth, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know enough about it, but like something like sentiment
No, that's why we
analysis, I
were
know
having a
about.
conversation about it, though. I was trying to
You
get
don't want to
you
learn.
Well, I'm
Yeah, I was
trying
trying
to
to get
I'm
you
trying
to
to think of what you're even getting at by analogy, by something I know a little bit about.
Well, that's why I was taking you into the shadows, but you didn't want to talk about them. I was explaining to you how they got the radius of the Earth, and then everything after that. So they got it from an assumption, and then everything after that is based on an assumption. So the whole thing's flawed. You can't
But
base
I don't think you
a
can
whole
say
model on it.
I didn't get there, right? It's just that I got there by different means.
Okay, but can you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean that was the whole point. I don't think because the earlier train of thought just wasn't making sense to me, right? So I had to go by way of analogy.
Okay, you wanted to turn it into something that you could understand.
Well, that I had enough background.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Time spent in.
So we're at a place where they made assumptions and made the circumference and radius of the Earth. Now you're here like you're on the fence. You don't know it. You're saying you don't know enough. Now it's been explained to you how they got these things. So do you think that is sufficient to claim that they know how big the Earth is?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
For it.
I think y'all are some bitch ass niggas, and the Earth is round. What the fuck you talking about?
Okay. Good on you, man. You got any proof? You got any proof for it?
I feel like that was a
I have a
positive.
lot of proof. I have a lot of proof.
That was a
okay?
very positive
So let me tell you.
sentence. Do you have any proof?
Let me tell
like
you.
you need to go
How
back
does
to
the
school,
wait?
man.
How is a flat surface gonna orbit? How is a flat surface gonna orbit the sun?
Hey, have you got any proof of the?
I have a lot of proof. I actually have a lot of proof as well. So how can a flat surface orbit the sun?
I'm gonna.
That's just my question.
Mute you.
How can something?
Okay.
It's just
So I'm just going to put you on mute for a second, so you can let me ask you a question. All right. I'm going to open your microphone back up because I want to actually have a conversation with you. But if you can just give us a little bit of evidence of why the Earth is a sphere, then that would be great. You're now unmuted.
okay. So my evidence: how can a flat surface orbit the sun for 364 days a year?
How do we know it's orbiting the sun?
Because it's science. It's
Right, but
been proven.
your evidence is a question in and of itself, right?
Okay, I can ask. How about this? How would that work?
We
How
don't
would
want
the sun
another question,
how would we
right?
orbit the sun if we were flat? Okay, go on.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not here to answer the question for you. The
I have
question
a
we
question for you?
posed is, what is the evidence?
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Well, I don't claim to know anything about.
Okay, who claims to know
whether
everything? Who claims?
Well, if you can ask a question after you answer the question that was asked first.
Okay, so basically, so we have been to the moon, and people have seen with their own eyes the Earth rotating. And how would it work if the Earth was flat? Where would the water go?
Have they? Who's seen this with their own eyes?
Armstrong.
Yeah, how can you confirm that?
Okay, how can you confirm that the Earth is flat?
That's
That's my question for you.
That
Oh,
wasn't.
yeah, see,
No,
you come
we're
back
just
with another
yeah?
question.
Exactly. Obfuscation.
Okay, question with a question. It works.
Shutting down. Does anyone heard of that?
What?
What's that?
Up and
It's
down,
just
shutting
basic
down.
knowledge. The Earth is round. It's just basic knowledge.
The
Yeah, you
Swaggy,
said
is
see,
real or not?
What's your evidence? What's your evidence that it's
it's
flat?
really the. I mean, it gets back to where I was going. Is
It's a
that a
philosophy.
positive or negative statement? I mean, it's
What I'm
basic
saying is
evidence that.
what you guys are saying is a philosophy that was proven wrong a long time ago.
No, sorry, mate. You've got your words mixed up. So you actually believe that you live on a space ball with no proof. So
Okay, you believe
what
we
it?
live on a flat
Hang
surface with
on,
no
just
proof.
let me explain it. Let me explain it.
Okay, go
Well,
on.
I got plenty of proof, mate. But
I show me.
you know,
Tell me.
are
Tell me.
you gonna? Have you got enough self control to actually have a conversation, or you're
Yeah,
just gonna
go
keep
on.
on interrupting me?
Nah,
Yeah.
go on.
So what it is you can't actually prove that you live on a spinning space ball. So what that is, it equates to a religion. Do you know what the definition of religion is?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna bring religion into this as well.
Yeah, having a belief without any proof. Yeah.
So you're not a religion. You're what's it called? You don't
Oh
believe
yeah,
in a
man.
god.
You're not religious then.
No, I'm religious. I'm really religious. I'm Muslim, alhamdulillah.
Okay.
And
Well,
in my book,
I'm pretty sure the Quran says it's flat too. So
in I believe in the Quran, and the Quran says that the Earth is round and it
where
rotates
round or spherical?
round.
Quran, dude. Have you read
It's
the
a sphere.
Quran?
A sphere. It's called a sphere.
Yeah. Where does it say this? Can you post it in the live stream?
I don't have the Quran with me. I haven't memorized the Quran.
Made Chat GPT this.
You, the other guy, the
Yeah,
white
go
guy.
on.
Have you read the Quran?
Yes,
The guy
I have.
answering. No,
Yes, I
not
have.
you.
Yes, I
The
have.
other guy.
I read the Quran. It
The
doesn't say the
white
Earth's a
guy.
sphere.
No, I haven't read the
Well, it
Quran,
says
but
it in
Wait,
the
have you
And
ever
the
Torah
what?
straight out.
Australian guy read the Quran.
Wait,
no,
what
but there's
language have
plenty
you
of
read it?
Muslims in here that have said it's flat. So have you? Have you
Muslims.
read it?
Nah,
You haven't
I've
read
read
it
it.
yourself, as by what you were saying before. That
Why are
you
you
just
getting mad?
contradicted yourself, my
Why are you
friend.
getting mad? Why are you screaming at me?
You know,
Yeah.
the
Go
Chat
ahead, mate.
GPT can hallucinate, right? So this, I feel like this is bullshit. Even if I put it up here.
Exactly. Just ChatGPT just proved my point.
Well, I didn't even do it yet.
Okay, go on, do it.
Well,
I just want you to see the point.
I'm looking it up. Does the Quran? How do you spell it? K-A-R-A-N?
Quran.
K-U-U-R-A-N? Or one U?
Wait, no, one U. Quran.
Oh, it's with a Q. Q-U-R-A-N. The Earth is a sphere. Question mark. The Quran, the Holy Book of Islam, does not explicitly state that the Earth is a sphere. It's the first
Well,
sentence. The
there
Quran
you go.
was revealed in Arabic over 1400 years ago, and its description of natural phenomenon are often poetic and symbolic. The concept of the Earth being a sphere was not well established in the pre-modern world, so the Quran does not explicitly address the Earth's shape. However, some Muslims and scholars have interpreted certain verses in the Quran as being consistent with the idea of a spherical Earth. For example, there are verses that describe the Earth as being spread out or made flat, which
Like
some
a carpet.
interpret to the Earth's vast
There
expanse,
we go. Does
but not necessarily implying a flat shape. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
It's
show me
almost
where it says it's
counter
flat. Show me where it says it's flat.
argument
It's flat. Go on.
with the Quran says, according to ChatGPT.
Okay, if you want to go according to ChatGPT, right? Is the Earth flat or round? A sphere.
I'm just
What
putting
was
the
it?
response in the chat really quick.
No.
'Cause I can't do the
Wait. Let me search. Let me search on ChatGPT. Is the Earth flat or round?
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the Quran.
If you wanna go there,
as
the
the
Earth is
ChatGPT,
roughly a sphere,
if you can have a round flat table.
and in a hadith from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says the
Do you
Earth,
even know
if
what
you
round
shrunk
means? Do you even know what
a
round means?
sphere,
Because you're saying round.
okay, it's the same thing, same concept. He said, if you shrunk the Earth down to the size of an 8 ball, size of a ball, a tennis ball,
Well, how are you
it
gonna
would
do
be
that? Nobody can do that. Probably only
it would
God.
be as smooth as an 8 ball. Have you
Who
ever?
made this story up? Is this like a story that
Okay, it's
someone
a
made up
hadith.
and you
It's a
believe it?
hadith. It's a hadith.
Degrassi.
Is there I have a question. Are there any Muslims in this chat?
Yeah.
Who is a Muslim?
Yeah.
So which Muslim is gonna make the earth as small as a ball? Who's gonna do that?
Allah
Which
subhanahu
Muslim
wa
is
ta'ala.
gonna do that?
No Muslim, no one has the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Exactly. So why are you making claims that only God knows about?
Because it's a hadith. It's from the Prophet. You know what a hadith is? A hadith is a message
Yeah.
from a Prophet. We have
Okay. So when did the Prophet say that you live on a cartoon spinning ball?
cartoon. Well, okay, I have a question. So you're basically coming at me for not having any proof.
No,
Where's
bro.
your proof?
Think about
That's
it.
just my question
Think
to you.
about. Just think about it. When I see the cartoon, think about it. When you think about this Earth, think about it. What do you see in your mind? What does it pops in your mind?
I see a solar system.
Does it look like a cartoon?
It does not.
Oh, so it looks like a real thing that you can see with your eyes, does it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, really? Have you ever seen the solar system that is not a cartoon?
I've seen pictures. There is a lot of.
You seen photograph or you
Okay,
seen
we've seen
cartoons of
photographs. Yeah. What have you seen?
be
What have you
honest,
seen?
under God, have you seen cartoons of the solar system or have you seen real thing with your own eyes? Have you
Satellite
seen
pictures.
this?
Okay, have you seen the
Okay,
Earth
okay.
being?
Type solar system in your Google search right now and tell me what you see. Do you see cartoons or you see photographs, like photographs that you take with a camera? Tell me which one you see.
Wait.
Just type solar system.
Yeah.
And tell me what you see.
I'll tell you what I see. I see a solar system.
Cartoons.
There's no cartoons.
You see cartoons,
So
bro. Think about it.
You're saying it's a real photo that you're
Wait.
looking at?
Wait. Okay, I see pictures. Let me wait. Satellite. You know what a satellite is?
Show me the photograph of the satellite that you found on the Google search. Show it to me.
Okay. Wait.
Text it to Jamesy.
Oh, a minute.
Yeah. Cartoons, right? That's what you see when
There's
you
no cartoons.
search solar system.
Wait. I have a question.
I feel like you came in recently, Swaggy, like within the past 30
I've been
minutes.
here a long time. I had the same discussion with another guy. It's a long time ago. I haven't been here.
Do you see the cartoons of the solar system or
There
no?
are cartoons. I'm not gonna lie. There are cartoons, but there are some real pictures as well.
Told you.
Oh, but the question is why did you come here?
Me, because I wanted to learn. I wanted to see what you're thinking about. To be honest.
Yo, we have a
I'm interested
Muslim
in your
Flat Earth
thinking.
Discord server if you want to join that.
What?
We have a Muslim Flat Earth Discord if you want to join that. I can invite you.
No, I'm good. I'm just coming here to have a conversation as well.
Cool.
So you know the Prophet never said you live in a cartoon, right? Like you're claiming.
No. So what the Prophet says is there's life and there's an afterlife. That's all we know.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. But when did he say you live in a cartoon spinning globe like you looking right now in the cartoon?
So
Google search. You're saying you live on that. You yourself are claiming that you live in this cartoon, but the Prophet never said that.
I have a question though. in Yom al-Qiyam, like the day of judgment, the sun will rise from the east. East or
Yeah,
west, however
the
you
sun is moving, right? You can see the sun rising from the
Yeah,
east. Yes,
the sun
yes,
rises
sure.
from the east. Okay?
Yeah.
How does that
And
work?
then at noon is above your head, right? At noon is above your head.
Yeah, when the sun rises
And
from the east or
then
west.
at the evening is setting. Is the sun moves away from you? You can look at this. It's
Okay, I can
moving
see.
away from you, and then it sets on the west, right?
Then I can see the moon with my own eyes. How
Yeah,
about
me
that? I
too.
can see it
Everybody
spinning.
here can see it. Everybody
Exactly.
can see, unless you're blind. Yeah, you can see the moon.
What do you
Yeah,
see? What do you see when you look at the moon?
you see phenomena
Cool.
in the sky. Sky phenomena.
Does the moon spin around or does it not? Do you
No.
think? I have a question for you. Can I ask?
It doesn't spin
You
around.
have you doesn't
you
spin
think the
around. You
Earth is
always
flat?
see one face of the room. You can only see one
Yeah,
face
because
of
that's
the
what your
moon.
eyes see.
So
I have a
I
question for
want
you.
to
Do you
know
think
something.
the
Is
Earth is
the
flat?
Earth in the sky?
Well, I have a
Is the
Do
question.
Earth
you
in the
think the Earth
sky?
is in the sky?
Yeah,
What
good
do you mean? Is the
question.
Earth in the sky?
Yeah, because
Wait,
you're
guys.
talking about the Earth, and you're just saying, have you seen the moon? But
Wait,
bro, the moon
I have
is
a
above you.
question.
Listen. You need to
Yeah, go
realize this.
on.
Listen, bro. The sky is above your head. Do you agree that you have to look up to look at the sky?
Oh yeah, that's of course because
Yeah.
it's
Okay. There. Yeah.
on the ground.
And
When
where
you're on the other side,
tell me when you where is the ground? Is the ground above your head or under your foot? Under your feet? Where
okay,
is it?
but
The
what's
ground?
under the ground? What's under the ground?
Okay. Where is the ground? Is it under your feet or above your head?
Okay, it's under my feet due to gravity.
Exactly. So why are you saying the ground that is under your feet, it's something that is above your head?
Then I have a question for you. How would the gravitational pull work if the Earth was just
You
like flat? How would it work?
you don't know the answer to that question.
Because you need a round, and the gravitational force needs to be in the middle of the Earth
You're
for
all
gravitational
over
force
the
to work.
place, man. Just stick to one subject and talk about
Okay,
that
wait.
one
Okay,
subject.
how about this?
Alright?
Wait. You
Sure.
see, how does the sun move? Is it like a flat? Do you think the Earth is flat or the whole galaxy? Every
You know
planet is
that
flat?
the prophet says, I mean, I don't know about that prophet, but you know that in the scripture it says that why will you want to know things about the sky if you haven't figured the things under your feet first? You haven't figured the ground first yet, and you want to talk about
You
things
only
of the
figured
sky,
out
bro.
4% of the ocean.
Listen, you haven't figured out the things under your feet, and you're trying to figure out things of the heavens above, bro. You're really going on a path that you have no idea what you're talking about. So, better stick to your God-given senses and your immediate experience, and start from there.
So, how would let me if there's people on the other side of the Earth, if it's night for them,
That's an
how
assumption.
will
I
it be
mean, on the
daylight
other
for
side,
us?
like on the other side of town, like I could be on
North
one
Pole,
side
South
of the
Pole.
town.
No,
You're saying that there's
opposite side of the world. North Pole, South
The
Pole.
Earth is.
How is one side
You're,
daylight and the other side is nighttime? If the Earth was flat, it would all
the
be the same.
sun is not as big as you think it is. The sun is
But it is
smaller,
though.
and the Earth is the floor of the universe. The
You
edge of
think
the
that?
Earth is the edge of the universe, you could say.
Do you personally think that? So
I know for a fact that I'm standing on the floor.
okay,
yeah.
so do
Do
you
you know
think the
for
Earth
a
is
fact that
round?
you're standing on a ball in the void?
Yes, in fact I do.
Because I know that I know that beneath my feet is ground, and I know the sky's above me.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
pretty
so
simple stuff.
wait, so on people on the other side of the Earth, like South Pole, North Pole, how would that work? If one side is daylight and
Are
the
you
other
are you
side,
thinking about the
let
cartoon?
me
Wait,
finish. Let me
listen.
finish.
You
Daylight and
moved.
night. How would that
Listen,
work?
listen. You moved from the realist level back to the cartoon, because right now you're thinking about this cartoon that you never experienced, and you're talking about people in the cartoon, bro.
Can I tell you something?
Right.
How does the
Because
entire world get sunlight if it's flat?
exactly,
Can you
the
just
whole Earth would get sunlight.
Oh my
If
god,
that by your logical
so
like
guys.
guys just one at a
statement, by
time,
your logical
yeah?
statement, the whole world would be the same. It would be sunlight same time the whole world, and night the same time.
That's an
That's the real shit.
assumption.
That's not an assumption. That's a fact. I can tell you for a fact
Yeah.
that it's not the
But
same.
what if
Why is
the
there different
sun?
timings? Why is there the same
What if the
timings?
sun was like a basketball, right? If I threw the basketball up as high as I could throw it,
Okay.
would it be above everybody's head at the same time?
No, because if it was flat, it would have two sides, and the sun would only give sunlight to one side, which is the
How
above
does the
side.
sun give
Flat,
sunlight
That's
to
an
the whole
flat.
galaxy?
assumption.
Listen,
One
listen,
sec.
listen, 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 listen. Flat is not what something is. Flat is a description of a surface. You're thinking about the cartoons again. You're thinking about you're replacing the globe cartoon with a flat cartoon. In your mind. What do you see in your mind when you think flat Earth? What do you see? What do you picture in your mind?
Uh, Earth with two sides only instead of being a sphere.
Like a
Well, that's
disc.
not correct.
You see a disc in space. That's what you picture.
Yeah, I don't even get to the other side.
Not a
So
disc.
think about it. You think about it. When you think about the globe, you think about a cartoon. Now, when you think about flat Earth, you think about another cartoon. Do you think that's reality?
Then what do you think it looks like?
It's just a flat
I don't.
surface, man.
Flat is a description. A description. Know what something is. We don't know the ends of the universe. Have you been to the ends of the universe? Have you
Wait,
been to God's throne?
wait.
You haven't. You
Can
don't
I
have.
tell you
Listen. You
something?
don't have. Listen. You don't have God's perspective to make a determination of the shape of the whole construct of the universe. Nobody here does.
Can I tell you something? If it was just like a flat surface, as you're saying, that means you could just keep walking and just walk into space instead of having to fly to space.
That is your imagination again, thinking about
No, that's not my
cartoons.
imagination. That's what you
Have
said.
you ever walked and reached the shore, the seashore? Have you ever done that in your life?
What do you mean?
So you walk and keep walking and you keep walking and then you reach what? Waters, right? Don't you?
No, no matter how you walk, you're gonna keep spinning.
What?
Like,
When? We're
like
Bro,
talking
wait,
about
not
bro,
reality,
spinning.
dude. Reality, man.
bro. Think about you yourself. If you start walking towards a direction, and you're not gonna walk in a straight line because you're gonna have to go move a little bit to reach somewhere. But eventually, you're gonna reach an edge that there is there is the ground and there is water, and you're gonna reach that right that spot. There's
Mhm.
water in front of you, and you're standing on the ground. Yes or no?
Called a lake, the
Yeah.
ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's in real life. That will happen. And then what happens if you get on the water and then you travel across it? You reach what? Then you reach another shore. Have you ever done anything besides that? I don't think anybody have. So why are you thinking about falling or reaching like the edge of disc? That's just cartoons that they sold you in your mind, and now you're thinking about cartoons and talking to us about cartoons.
I don't think I'd ever walk into space for sure. If I imagine that I walk indefinitely, I would expect to eventually get back to where I started.
Or you keep
That,
walking and then you run.
how would you?
You keep walking. Go ahead, my bad, man.
No, you're all right. I was just gonna say, how would you do that? How would you get back to the same place?
Oh, I'm just thinking from the glober perspective that say I walk, eventually I get to the ocean, say I can walk on water, I walk over the ocean into
So
Europe.
you can do a circle. You do in a circle. Does that mean sphere necessarily? Can you
Well,
do
I
a
think
No,
circle
that's,
around?
I'm just saying, but
Listen. Can you do a circle around your house? Can you? Can you
yeah,
do
but
a circle
that's
around your
not what I
house?
was. I'm just all I was saying is that I would eventually get back to where I started.
Okay,
That's
so
what I would
but
have
you're
said.
saying sphere is related to if
No,
you
that's
start in
that's
one
the
point.
cartoon that I have because if I were to imagine what that walk would look like, I would imagine going around a globe.
Yeah, you can't do that in reality, can you?
No, I'm just this is the
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just saying that this, if I were to imagine it, that's how I would imagine it. Not that I'm going to somehow walk into space, but that would eventually walk around the globe.
How can you walk on a globe? A globe is on a table. It's a construct that people make to represent some type of projection, and you only use it for decorative purposes. You don't do anything with it, so you will
No,
never be able to stand on that globe.
I'm just using globe as in the globe theory, right? So as if
There is no globe theory, nor a
as if
scientific one.
we believed that the world itself was a globe, and I could walk all the way around it. This is what would happen if I walked all the way around it as I view it today. And that's, I mean, I don't have any reason as to why, but just there's the question, right? Some people propose that you walk off into space.
Yeah, but the globe has a geometry, right? The globe has a specific dimensions, doesn't it?
So I don't know any specific dimensions.
Does it has a radius, a circumference, that kind of stuff?
Traditionally, a sphere would, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
is that
those
geometry?
factors.
Is that geometry? Does the globe has a geometry?
I mean that if you're talking about radius, circumference, etc., that is geometry. Yes.
So can you use geometry to figure that out? The globe, if it was real or not. Can you measure this globe and do the numbers? Use geometry to say globe or no globe?
No, and I'm not claiming to either.
That's fine. If you're not claiming that, that's totally fine. I'm just saying.
No, it's just, I mean, I don't think we ever got to what you would imagine if you walked indefinitely. How you currently imagine that to
Well,
play
we're not
out.
here for hypotheticals.
Yeah, but I mean, the question was posed as hypotheticals, so it's like if you ask the question, but you can't answer it with your best effort.
And that's the only thing you can do when you talk about the globe. Just make hypotheticals, and if there was a globe, if there was a cartoon, then you go to that place, you go to that imaginary, made up story, and people talk about the globe. But when you go to reality, you never find this globe anywhere in reality. That's
Right,
what
but
we try to tell you.
you also don't find yourself walking into space, and that's not even on the same idea of a globe, right? I don't know what that would
Has anyone actually started from point A and then walked around the entire globe just to end up back at point A again? Because I'm pretty sure it's never actually been done or proven.
I feel like somebody has flown, right? Amelia Earhart or something.
You feel it
West.
very deeply in yourself? Do you feel that happen?
I've heard that.
I mean, she flew, but she didn't fly around the entire globe in like a circle and end up where she started.
Yeah, well, I just don't quite study that, but that was the gut feeling I had. Because I think that the previous idea was to go off your gut, right? No.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but it's all speculation in the end. Because even on the flat Earth, no one's actually gone all the way to the end to see what's over there. And even if we wanted to, we really couldn't. Because there's a lot of treaties. You can't just grab a ship and go wherever you want. There's a lot of international regulation and
That's
stuff.
what I was
So
fucking wondering about. If you just wanted to do it today, right?
Bro, you can't leave
how hard would that be?
You can't go to your neighboring country without permission. You think you're gonna travel the world willy-nilly?
Yeah, not anymore. Maybe like long time ago, but now we're
100 years
living like a
ago.
police state kind of. Yeah, and a lot of these old maps from like 100 years ago, they all show a lot of continents and stuff around, Antarctica and stuff. They show a lot of land that doesn't exist on modern day maps. A lot of them, they have Antarctica as like an ice wall, and they have like lands beyond the ice wall. Sometimes they have land around the ice wall. But a lot of the old maps are like pretty different from the modern maps we have today, where it's just everything ends in Antarctica and then just loops back. But the reality is we can't really go and verify that for ourselves.
Yeah, and if you like even tried to do it, there's no way to say that they're not gonna just take you on some bullshit tour.
Yeah, I think it's better because of that. We just stick to what we can verify. What can we actually see? in terms of stuff we can test out. Like, can we see a curve on the Earth? Is there any way to measure the curve? Can we prove it? Stuff like that's kind of more grounded in reality and provable. Because we can't, none of us can go to the edge of the Earth or go around the Earth, so it's kind of useless to talk about it, in my opinion, at least.
If there are no curves, then that means if you went to the highest point of Earth, you could see the entire Earth, right?
No,
Well, maybe
because
if you have God's eyes, maybe, but not with your eyes. You have a limitation
Ah,
of
but
you can't see the whole thing.
yeah, but you would see that there are stuff that you like cannot see because they're too far, but you know, you would see it.
the thing is, our eyes are still limited. They can't see all the way to the end. Our eyes still have kind of like a cutoff point where you can't see beyond that. Even then, when people say the Earth's flat, they don't mean it's like literally like 100% flat plane. There's still uneven land. There's still mountains and hills, so you can still have your vision obscured by stuff. Like we know
Is
hills exist. Obviously, on the flat Earth, it's not like we're claiming hills don't exist or there aren't mountains or different elevations and stuff like that.
isn't like a big part of the world daytime and the other and another big part of the world totally nighttime? How are you gonna see in the night side when there's no light illuminating anything? How are you gonna
Well,
see the whole world if half of it is illuminated and the other region of it is dark, completely dark? How are you gonna see the whole thing? Can you?
wait, what do you think Earth looks like? Just like a flat surface?
You go outside, look at your window, and you see the way it looks.
I mean, I cannot see the entire thing.
No,
I just see what's
exactly.
around me.
Exactly. We can't see the whole thing. Yes, correct. We lack the frame of reference. We lack God's eye view. People thinking that they can see the whole earth is it's just crazy. Can't see your town. See the whole earth.
Yeah, fuck it, I could go to the highest place within 100 miles. I just couldn't even see Utah.
You're gonna see as the visibility allows you to see, and then darkness. Can't see anymore from that point over.
I couldn't
How are
even
you
see
gonna see through the darkness?
the nearest mountain.
Exactly. I'm gonna see the whole earth.
What brought you here, though? What do you think about the globe Earth in general? Are you like skeptical or what's up?
I think that's for AK, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's skeptical about people believing they live in a cartoon. You can be skeptical about that pretty easily.
Yeah, I think it's nice to be open-minded.
Yeah, I mean,
The,
here's my take. What brought me here is I mean,
the
I didn't really have a clear opinion, but I was wondering if there was like any so if anybody had a certain idea that the Earth was round, that there's some like preconceived notion that these guys are immediately wrong. Right.
You heard the guy earlier, remember? The earth is round, it's a sphere, whatever, right? And he said, solar system. It looks like a solar system. I said, have you ever seen the solar system? Go check it out. Does it look like a cartoon? He said, no, it looks real. He went and checked Google and he admitted, oh yeah, it kind of looks like a cartoon. Think about it. Think about the earth or the solar system in your mind. Picture it.
Yeah, no, but what I was getting at, the like common perspective of a flat Earth discussion is a closed-minded set of individuals that are set in their beliefs and they don't have, or they
brain
not
for
only they
themselves. They're
not
just in
only
a code, and they don't think, and they are
yeah,
they
they
just it's a
ban
church.
they ban any users who have objecting views, right? They just kick them out of the chat. They
Mhm.
don't listen to their opinion, right? But it's honestly, I came here, it's completely
Well,
opposite.
about the banning, you can go to any server that are not related to this topic, and they'll ban you for just saying the incorrect term or something. They just ban you for any reason. So I guess people in this server or these communities are not the only ones that use the banning feature.
Right. But all I was getting at, it doesn't have to be banning or right. It's the rejection of an opposing idea.
I mean, talking to other people is always good, but these days it's always painted as black and white these days. You can't talk to these people, you have to shut them out, they're all wrong, blah, blah, blah. And it's all taken as gospel. No one does their own thinking, no one talks to each other. So that's the problem these days.
People do talk, but remember, if you're gonna start claiming, the certain things, is certain terms come with baggages, right? Like flat earth. Oh, flat
Yeah.
earth is equals retarded, basically, and that's
Yeah.
a weaponized term.
Yeah, I mean, like even YouTube and stuff, there was a lot of, I remember a while back, you could see a lot of flat earth content. Now, if you look up like flat earth, it's all like flat earth debunking. You can't find any actual objective information on it anymore. To me, that's kind
Yeah,
of just
it's a
preventing
label.
actual discussion.
It's
Right. I
exactly
think
because
that
people are opening the window to talk about this topic, the cosmology of the world, and open the window. They label it whatever, flutter server, right? People talk about
Yeah.
many things, and then that term is used to label a whole group of people as lesser humans or lesser people because they don't believe in the globe. So you don't believe in the globe, therefore you're a flat earther, therefore you're a moron, you're a retard. Whatever you say is not valid because you don't believe in the globe. You see the logic? How easy it is?
Yeah, it's kind of like a gospel. And people who don't follow the gospel, they're considered heretics, and you're not supposed to talk to them. And they're anti-science, they're Nazis, they're this, they're that. It's all like a bunch of strawmen, pretty much.
What? You don't believe in the globe? What are you, a flat earther?
Yeah.
right. What I was getting
You went
at
to
is
the
that
moon?
it's like
Go ahead.
it's the it's backwards, right? Than the common perception. Like the common perception would be that the flat earthers, as you said, they're heretics, right? But
Well, I'm
I
not a
feel like
flat earther, and you're gonna find retarded people in all groups, flat earthers, globe earthers. So yeah, someone is not a label. You're not a globe earther. You're not a flat earther. You're not any of those things. You could know about the topics. You could know about the globe, right? The globe is a whatever made up story about a cosmology made up in Narnia by in people defended its days, whatever. Yeah, right. You can know about these topics, but you're not that label, bro. You're not the the label. It's not who you are. So yeah, let people label you and say, yeah, I am the label. And there you go. You're gonna get what you asked for. You are a label. Good for you. If you're gonna be judging people because of one label, yeah, pretty stupid actually.
Standing right, crazy that you assumed that flat earthers are the ones that mute everyone and deny science and aren't able to have a decent conversation. Is that what
No, that's not
you were
it.
saying, or that's the perception that
I've read
the rest of people have?
Yeah, I've read some research papers, and
Yeah.
so with the concept that I'm looking at is what's called an echo chamber, and
Yeah.
there's what's called an epistemic bubble, in which that you have basically just by any means of derivation ended up in a group where you have no opposing views.
Think about the globe as an echo chamber. Think about it. Isn't the globe an echo chamber? Go into mainstream and deny the globe. See what happens.
Yeah,
We have
yeah. I
plenty of
mean, you
opposing
can
views here.
you can have the idea at many different levels of abstraction, right? So flat Earth was just one level of abstraction, but you could put it on any
The echo
label,
chamber doesn't
right?
really necessarily have to be like a dirty term, does it?
No, it doesn't. It can be a good thing, right? I mean, it could
Yeah.
just be there's no. I mean, at the most abstract level, there's no possible other way of going about it, right? So traditionally it's like the connotation is it's a bad thing that you have no opposing opinion. That's the epistemic bubble, right? No matter the means. But the idea of an echo chamber is you have no opposing opinion due to some sort of rejection to any presented opposing opinion or prior prophecy that that opposing opinion would come, and you should be aware of it and know that it's heresy. Right, so like in research that I've read, flat Earth is a topic where they look into the possibility of echo chambers. They also traditionally do this on both sides of the political spectrum, right? Liberal or conservative.
Yeah.
Or they always need a topic, right? So whether it's even if it's like red or blue, political or liberal or conservative, they often even look even more granular, like gun control or marriage rights, etc. Right? They take these different levels of
Yeah, but
abstraction.
think about it. Think about it. Social stuff and politics is one thing, but the realist level of how the foundation, the axiomatic place that we found ourselves in, my opinion, your opinion, has no effect on the reality that we're standing. So some people are making a story about the cosmology of the world and selling it. That's the globe, right? They sell it. You see it everywhere. They push it since the first day you're born. Sell it to you through your eyes, right? Through the
But
movies, through the cartoons.
here's the analogy that I'm thinking of, right? Say I'm trying to invent something new for the betterment of society. It could be that whatever this is, I could never invent unless I get some opposing opinion. Right? So say like 90% of the world loves one thing and 10% hate it. Well, I mean, 10% of the world's a huge market, and you could make that 10% of the world have a better life by inventing something for them. So like having that opposing opinion is valuable in and of itself because you could make the world a better place.
Having the realist level acknowledgement is pretty important because delusional people can cause a lot of trouble. no matter what society you're in. People that are pushing delusions in children's minds are definitely doing a disservice to the community, to the world. And if someone is pushing lies, selling them as truth, it has to be pointed out. Some people has to point the lie out, no? What do you think? Someone is lying, do you think someone should be like, hey, what you're saying right there, do you have any evidence for your claim? You think that's okay to do in a society?
I don't think that you should go around pushing lies ever.
So why are they lying?
Usually for what ulterior motives, for their own interest, to have a competitive advantage, possibly, or to take advantage.
Advantage. Yeah. Yep. Many reasons to lie. Why not lie?
I don't really think it gives you an advantage, does it? Like, it's only temporary, short term.
Sure, but
Some people could
well,
probably get away their whole life on lies. Sure, it's possible, but I think in the end, the risk is much higher than the reward. So, from an expected value perspective, like if I were to lie 1,000,000 times or tell the truth 1,000,000 times, I'd be better off if I did this experiment 1,000,000 times, telling the
when you
truth.
have when you have people invested that their careers depend on in the lie or in promoting a made-up fantasy land that doesn't exist in reality, they can't verify, they can't demonstrate, but they still talk about it and get paid for it. It's like talking about anime, but they're the experts, right? The priest. They know better than you. That's why they're there. They are the priest position. You don't know about the globe? There's priests out there that will tell you everything about it. Can they demonstrate it? Verify it? No. But still, they tell you about it and get paid for it. It's incentivized. But it's a lie that is in between a foundation that is the truth, right? Because we all standing on the ground and the skies above our heads. We are in this medium. Everybody is, um, and we are operating all in foundational truth. For you to cross the street, you have to use your senses, right? And you have to follow what is truth and just operate. But then you have lies within the ecosystem or the environment, and some people have an advantage over others if they can lie, and people believe that lie and do their operations based on that lie. It's not doesn't mean that everybody believes in the lie or everybody is operating under that. Not everybody is, but some are, and definitely there's benefits to for convincing other people of doing things.
So, what's the disadvantage, right, of uncovering the lie? If there's a lie. That now the liar lies about you and gets you fired.
Exactly. Especially if the liar is incentivized to keep lying.
And if they have that priest role to where their lie is believed over even evidence, right?
But this lie in specific, it goes deeper because people actually believe it, even though they cannot verify it. In their minds, they think it's true. That's why they talk about it. But they never seen it. They never verify it. They only seen cartoons about it. And they talk about it like it's truth in the realist level, but it's in their minds. Look, the moon. Therefore, the ground that you're standing on is the cartoon that you saw on TV. Think about that logic. The people actually, 20 minutes ago, someone actually said that in here. Bro, look at the moon. Therefore, you live in a sphere because look at the moon. Plot logic. And it's based on a lie that was given and promoted, programmed into the mind. TV programming. What do you see in the TV programming? Globes, globe, round, earth, globe, earth, 24/7. The programming works. Not for everyone. It doesn't work for everyone.
Listen to their arguments about why they, you ask them a simple question: why do you believe you live on a spinning globe? Because orbits wouldn't happen if it were flat. What kind of an answer is that?
That's a programmed answer. It was programmed into their psyche.
Think
And if you
about the logic
disagree with
in
the
that answer, like.
if you disagree with that answer, then you're retarded. You're subhuman to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's an echo chamber, right? They
Yeah.
actively reject. I mean, it's just by any chance of coincidence that one, as they grew up, they encountered only people that agreed with the point of view. And at some point they encountered somebody, or they've talked to people, it was prophesized that they would eventually talk to somebody that did not believe in that view, and they're wrong for so and so reason. And then they come into contact with that person and they reject them because they already knew. It was pre-foreseen knowledge. And then I mean, actually this is something I was reading about, right? So as a result of it being prophesized, then they praise the prophet being correct.
A prophet can be correct. I have no problems with that.
Even had like your so-called experts come in here and agree that like most people will believe that they live on the spinning ball because it's just the propaganda. These are people that are proponents for the spinning ball, and they'll agree that yeah, most people just believe it because it's propaganda. It's just programmed into them, right? Other prophets saying this, like it's not Neil deGrasse Tyson, when he said, you don't see curvature if you're 2 millimeters above this beach ball, right? He stated after that he doesn't like that there's aspects of society that want to steal from the actual beauty that could be experienced, right, of in his belief system, right? He's saying, I want this to be a genuine experience, not a made up one. And he doesn't like that there's people out there misrepresenting his belief in the cosmos.
Yeah. Can you believe there's people out there that don't believe what I believe? It's shameful. You shouldn't have a job. You shouldn't. I mean, you don't participate in this religion? You're done. Nah, it's big and it's promoted, but people operate outside of even this whole glober versus flat earth BS. I mean, reality is dependent on reality. There's no need of cartoons. You don't need cartoons to, operate in the realism level. Some people do.
Yeah, so what do you think if I got a paper I gotta write 1 page talking about publishing it? What if the content was a discussion on globers as being in an echo chamber?
I like that actually, because it is because they accuse other groups, like let's say this community, right? They come in here, oh, this is an echo chamber, right? But think about it. Think about the globe. The globe is an actual echo chamber of its own merit, for whatever that is.
Right, so I put a quote in the chat. It says, first, an echo chamber involves a significant, some of the F's don't come through as they should, disparity of trust between insiders and outsiders. So assume the globers are insiders. So there is, I think, inherently a significant disparity of trust between globers and flat earthers per se. Second, an echo chamber involves beliefs espoused by the insiders, reinforcing that disparity. So beliefs that, the globe is inherently a globe, or the earth is inherently a globe for these reasons. The essential
You can
feature
also
of
go
echo
ahead.
chambers seems designed to self-reinforce particular alignment of trust. Yeah, and then you had something to say.
Yeah, like you could also put the question mark. I don't know the answer, right? Maybe half of the answer I do, but can globe earthers and flat earthers both be wrong? Right, something like that, some curveball, not just being, oh, this is one group and I agree, this is the other group, I agree, whatever, right? Because you could agree with a bunch of things. Because we talk about real things, and you say, yeah, real things, yeah, that's real. Both sides can use real examples of reality and kind of like promote their ideas, right? But do we all know? We do know. I do know my meter experience, and I do know I'm not standing on a cartoon. But let's say I'm a flat earther, even though I'm not a flat earther. But do I know the reality of this world beyond my own means? Right?
Right.
I
So
mean,
the inherent feature is that there's this set of beliefs that you don't give up, right? There's this label that you inherently accept. So for me, I wouldn't say you're a glober or a flat earther, right? It's that you don't inherently accept the label. And so in that case, you're not inherently in either echo chamber. But as soon as you accept the label and reject the other side without listening to their argument, then you become within the chamber that you you're closed off to the outside perspective.
And then there is the things that we can verify and demonstrate that doesn't matter who looks at it. Some things are the way they are. There is certain, laws of nature. Things, ways, the ways that things function, and doesn't matter what a flat earther says or a globe earther says. There's reality is reality. You could have all these debates. You could argue about all this until we die, and this this real is level is just gonna be there. Doesn't matter what we said about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always people in the middle, right? Who are in the real. They look at both sides. They say, "Oh well, I can
There's
see from
people in
both
the world that
perspectives."
will never have this conversation and will never listen to these debates, and they will operate in the realist level flawless, like not flawlessly, but really well. And they will never talk about this globe flat. They will never have the conversation, never even hear about it, and they will still operate in reality with their own skills, their own way of doing things. But they're gonna operate under a foundation, under the foundation of reality, right? Because how else are you gonna do anything?
Right, but that's not. I mean, regardless of globe or flat, right? If this is
Regardless,
right, I think there's always polarities in people's lives when they operate, right? Do you sacrifice the lamb or do you sacrifice the cattle? Do you eat the mushroom or do you not because it could be poisonous? Do you this or that, right? And there's always kind of like the troll that says even though he lives in a society that accepts one way of life, tries the other, and says, "Hey, well, it still works." You know, I'm not dead, so
just
that's
add
like
in
the
order
escape.
all of those variables because you're saying you're writing something, so it's kind of cool that you think about it from many angles, not just flatter angle, glober angle. That's it. No,
I think you.
bring it more to the realist level and look up to the how do you say? Shakespeare said the world is a stage. So look to the stage. You see the glober they're arguing and the flatter they're arguing. And talk about that argument there in your book, and then add all of the variables in place for the argument to be possible in the first place, which is antecedents, foundations, right? The thing that needs to be before the other things can be. You're gonna hear the globe or defending the globe no matter what. Doesn't matter how much evidence against the globe you present to some people. They're gonna still claim it is a globe. And some people are incentivized to be that way, so yeah. Monetarily incentivized. And some others are just have like a romantic relationship idea with space and alien girls. Want to marry some Martian girl one day. That's why they already prepaid their flight to Mars. And they have this idea in their minds that one day, one day we're gonna go to space, boys. Meet the alien girls. If you go by definition, an alien is a foreign, not native to the land that you are standing. So if you're in a foreign land, you are an alien to that land. But people today hear alien and they think beings from other planets. But by definition, alien meaning beings from other planets is in the science fiction or the fictional section. When you use alien, the word alien by definition to talk about beings from outer space is fantasy. You're talking movie script, cartoons. When you use the word alien in its proper uh, use, can be used in legalese for a foreigner, not natives, not native to that area of the world. So if you want an alien girlfriend, you can go to Mexico.
Well, then
And
you're
you'll
the
be the
alien,
alien.
right? Yeah.
You are the alien, exactly. Exactly. So you just go to, let's say you go to Texas and you're not from Texas and you meet a Mexican girl in Texas and you say, "Would you like to date an alien?" And she'd be like, "Sure, I'm an alien." You see? You can make that pickup line better than I did, but you can do it. Even the language has been the words, the meanings of the words have been, I don't know what word to use, but mixed up or
Misconceived.
yeah. Even in this community, people hear alien and they're thinking about green guys from other planets. Even the flat earthers, they hear the word alien and they talking about, oh no, there's no aliens. Aliens don't exist. Bro, go to the definition of the word. Don't we talk about the meanings of words? Words have meanings, right? And a foreigner is an alien. So there are aliens because you might be one if you're not in the native land that you were born. You are an alien, bro. So don't demonize the words because someone related it to fantasy cartoons and they're promoting it as that. That doesn't mean that the word doesn't have an use or a meaning, an actual meaning to the realist level. No, let's just throw the words out because someone used it for something else. Let's not use it anymore. How about that for an echo chamber?
Yeah, I mean, I look at I'm just writing now, actually. It's like the literature is frequently in agreement that the phrase is not well defined. There's
What
always
phrase?
echo chamber, right?
Yeah,
So how do you actually
honestly,
measure if
so,
something is or is not an echo chamber? That's where the definition comes into a key play.
etymology of alien. Read that so you can hear what I said. belonging to a foreign country or nation. A hypothetical or fictional being from another world. You see, you can use the word alien in a fictional sense. So you could write a story about a cartoon and you could say, aliens from Mars coming to visit us on Earth. You could say that, you could write about it. It makes sense, fictional. That's the fictional use of that word. And you can use it in the realist level as a describing a foreigner from another country or a nation.
Or you could leave it to interpretation of the reader.
Yeah, but you see how people abandon the actual meaning and they hear alien and they're just thinking about green beings from other planets. They don't relate it to real things in the real world. They actually speaking words and thinking about cartoons at the same time. Imagine talking and thinking about Fantasyland and just talking about that. One day I'm gonna go to outer space, and meet aliens. It has to be detrimental for a generation to just be believing in a lie. It has to have some side effects, some adverse reactions to society, country, nation, family, self. You will find a common trend that many people that believe they come from space dust, dust from the sun. They, you know, they're pretty far away from, I don't know, morality and kind of like having, I don't know, I find a lot of these glow believers very, I don't know, it's like bodies without souls for some reason. I don't know what I want to say with that, but they'll see, I don't know, forget about it. They'll see people dying and suffering and they'll laugh about it. It's disgusting. Make a joke about it. I mean, your well-respected leaders, your priests are, let's go to space. People gotta look up to them. People in high places have to look up. People standing in high places, especially the astronauts. You wanna look? Those are the most high people, right? The most high. They wanna replace the most high by them being the most high ones. The highest ones. Look up to them. Which is the coolest people ever lived? I mean, policemen, doctors, firefighters, pilots, pretty high. But who goes higher than astronauts? Those are rock stars for rock stars. astronauts. We're like the top of the top. Astronauts. Bro, I want to be an astronaut.
Man, I already got people up at work.
Yeah. NC-72. You been here before, NC-72?
Ever since this year.
Bro, the guy earlier, he was talking about the Quran and the Prophet. That the Prophet said that the earth is round.
Chat
And I asked
GPT. I
him,
hope
bro.
the Chat GPT shit was right.
Yeah, chat. Oh, was it you that read chat GPT?
Yeah, I have no clue if it was right or not, but it said.
But he contradicted what he said.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No, but he went a little bit honest, but that's the thing. People are so like mentally programmed that they resist even themselves. Because I asked him, bro, this solar system that you mentioned, have you ever seen this? Think about it. How does it look like? Does it look like a cartoon? He said, hell no, it doesn't look like a cartoon. Google it right now and tell me how it looks. And he started looking at the cartoons. He took a time. No, no, it's a photograph, a satellite photograph. And he started looking and looking, and then he said, "You know what? It kind of looks like a cartoon." Oh my god!
Yeah, the closest you can get is like a picture of the sky from the ground. And you can see, I don't know where I'm looking at. This one's from NASA. It's like the Milky Way. You know, the stripe that you could, I've seen it before.
Words have words don't have meanings; they have definitions. We are speaking the Queen's English with 21 consonants and 5 vowels. The Queen's English is a restrictive language. Consonants restrict speech and vowels are free-flowing. The average person uses a synonymous, equivocal, colloquial language that is open to interpretation by the reader. The average person thinks and believes that theory is synonymous with fact, that the opposite of guilty is not guilty. I've been here. Okay, yeah. Thanks for that, NC-72. Cool, cool. Thanks for the reply.
This is a good title. I was looking up the Wikipedia definition of echo chamber, and 2 of the 3 citations they had for the definition I had already read in full. But the one I didn't is disinformation and echo chambers. How disinformation circulates on social media through identity-driven controversies.
An echo chamber is an environment where a person only encounters information or opinions that reflect and reinforce their own. The term is a metaphor based on an acoustic echo chamber in which sounds reverberate in a hollow enclosure. That makes a lot of sense to me. That's what I thought it meant. Not on those words, but yeah, kind of like
An
echoes with me.
analogy.
Yeah. It's like Earth is a globe. Why? Because it's a globe. How do you know it's a globe? Because it's a globe. But how? Because it must be a globe. It has to be.
Don't worry, somebody will come up to you in a year and say it's not a globe. And I have foreseen this.
Yeah, but that would be retarded, right? That would be like a flat earther, and
But
that would be stupid.
why do they then teach you why it's not a globe, right? They teach you all the straw mans for that reason.
Yeah. Because it has to be a globe. Therefore, it cannot be a globe because it has to be. I can't think about anything else that it could be besides a globe. Yeah. Well trained. Right. If it's not a globe, give me a replacement right now. Replace it for me. What is it? What is it? Please tell me. It's not a globe. I rather. I don't want to say that. If space is not real. Oh, you posted something in the VC check-in. Where's it? No. CRAZYCASON. You posted that in a different channel.
Oh, my bad.
It's all good. Not a big deal. This is a sleepy time for most people. We do have Dart Vector. How are you, Dart Vector? What is it? Is that a walrus? Walrus. Dart. Vector. Is that a sea elephant you got there? You can unmute yourself, dude. And Timbo will
Hello.
talk to you from upside down Australia. Hey, Dart Vector.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, it's a sea
How are
elephant
you?
on my avatar. Fine, thank you. You?
I'm doing alright. Thanks for replying. Are you trying to keep it low? You sound kinda low. Trying to not
Yeah,
make
my
too much
wife
noise?
is still sleeping.
Oh, bro, I'm not gonna bother you. If you don't want to make noise, don't make noise, brother. I'll give you VC Verify, so later, when you join, you can open your mic without needing someone to mute you on the server, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So later on, when you have more, let's say, you're freely to speak louder and have a conversation without bothering other people around you, then you unmute and you can ask any questions related to the server.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Hey, James, is that you?
Yes.
How you
I mean,
doing,
that's
brother?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm good. Just you in here right now, holding it down?
Yeah, you can say that. I'm just opening my mouth and saying things.
Have you been here a while?
I think for probably 2 hours, something like that.
Yeah. Did you guys get any good content for the stream today with Glovers? Or at least for the last 2 hours?
I think so, because there was some polite people in here. There was some glow believers. They had some conversations when I jumped in. And then there was another gentleman that was claiming that the prophet, from the Quran said that the earth is round, something like that, right? And
Oh, yeah.
he he spoke about the solar system and that kind of stuff. And I said, bro, have you ever seen the solar system? My bad.
Heretic, I'm here to learn about echo chambers. Writing a paper on 'em. You can read as much as you want, right? But to dive into what you previously conceived as one, realize it's not as bigger learning experience in my opinion.
Hell? James, you. What the fuck? Where the hell did you go?
I'm here. I'm just
Oh, you
vibing.
trailed. I didn't hear what the last thing you said. You just went on mute now. Confused me.
No, the guy was saying that he's seen satellite photograph from the solar system, and I said, bro, go to Google and search for these photographs. Show me, and I said, you're gonna see it only looks like a cartoon, right? And he
Mm-hmm.
said, no, photograph. And then eventually he was looking, and he said, you know what? I think it does look like a cartoon. He's just trying to
That's
have him
hilarious. That's good.
say what he's seen about the globe. So the solar system, you seen this? Cartoons. Anyways, bro, I gotta mute for now.
Oh, okay. Sure.
CRAZYCASON. And Dart Vector then end up having a chinwag between themselves.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.